the Philippines is now eyeing more assets from Russia to boost its military capabilities. The Russian government has reiterated its commitment to help the Philippines strengthen its defense capabilities. The engagement between the two nations in the field of defense has improved over the past few years. Recently, the signing of the Philippine-Russia Agreement on Defense Cooperation and the Agreement on Military Technical Cooperation in 2017. And this also leads to the first Russian military attaché to the Philippines, setting a new milestone for the diplomatic ties of the two countries. Russia's presence of such kind for the first time in 40 years of diplomatic relations with the Philippines highlights the results of President Rodrigo Duterte's so-called independent foreign policy. In this video, we will talk about the variety of military assets from Russia that the Philippines already received, acquired, and wanted to purchase in years to come, which will play a significant role in the defense and security of the Philippines. But more importantly, we will look at how the armed forces of the Philippines will use these assets to protect and serve its people. So let us take a closer look at the first asset, Ural-4320 multi-purpose vehicle. During the Marawi siege, Russia donated 20 Ural-4320 multi-purpose vehicles, 5,000 Kalashnikov assault rifles, 1 million rounds of ammunition, and 5,000 steel helmets, which the Philippine government stated that it helps them turn the tide in the fight against Islamic State-inspired terrorists in Marawi City. The Ural-4320 is a general-purpose off-road 6x6 truck and designed for transporting cargo, people, and trailers on all types of roads and terrain, with excellent ground clearance. So it is perfect in regions where roads are difficult to traverse due to sand or big rocks. This vehicle is entirely conventional in design and technology. It has a payload capacity of 4.5 tons off-road and 6 tons on hard surface roads. A standard troop or cargo platform has drop sides, tailgate, and removable tarpaulin with bows. In troop carrier, it accommodates 39 fully armed troops. This military truck also tows trailers or artillery pieces with a maximum weight of 12 tons. The cab of the Ural-4320 provides seating for the driver and to passengers. An add-on armor kit is also available for this military truck. It protects the cab and engine compartment from small arms fire and artillery shell splinters. With all these types of capabilities, it is a perfect asset for the condition in the Philippines, especially for transporting troops, delivering ammunition and other cargo, or for humanitarian missions, like evacuating people from flood and affected areas from calamity. The Ural-4320 multi-purpose vehicles will help to boost the logistics and support mobility of the armed forces of the Philippines. Now, let us look at the next asset of the Philippines, the Mi-17 medium-lift helicopter. The armed forces are reportedly set to procure 16 units of Mi-17 medium-lift helicopters, with a total worth of 12.5 billion pesos, as it beefs up its air capability in the first official acquisition from Russia. The Mi-17 will become the first medium-lift and multi-purpose helicopter of the armed forces of the Philippines once it becomes operational. It has excellent passenger capacity that can carry more than 36 heavily armed troops, or 4,000 kilograms of cargo inside the cabin, with an additional 4,500 kilograms payload attached on an external sling. This capability alone is a big help in transporting cargo, especially in the relief operation in places where roads are not accessible. It has a large fuel tank capacity that can stay flying up to 5 hours and has an operational range of more than 500 miles, with an option to equip to auxiliary fuel tanks for extended range. With this range, durability, and all-weather performance, this is very useful in rescue operations at sea or any mountains, because it has an operational flight ceiling of 20,000 feet, which is more than enough for any mountain range in the Philippines. Next, let us look at the new assets that the Philippine Air Forces are now eyeing. The Mi-35 Super Crocodile helicopter gunship. Mi-35 type helicopters have the unique experience of operation in high-temperature conditions. They are reliable, easy to maintain, provided with an impressive weapon variety and also extraordinarily suited for operation in extreme climate conditions. The Mi-35M is an attack helicopter complex equipped with modern high-precision weapons of round-the-clock application. The aircraft design is to destroy armored vehicles, provision fire support to land forces. Mi-35M is armed to the teeth with modern weaponry. It includes a non-removable flexible gun installation with two-barreled 23mm guns, guided missile armament, unguided rocket armament pods carrying 80mm airborne rockets, suspended gun armament up to 23mm guns. Mi-35M has several application versions: attack, troop carrier, ambulance, and transport. It is capable and effective in performing a different kind of tasks. Troop carrier mission. It can accommodate up to 8 fully armed paratroopers in the cargo cabin. As an ambulance helicopter, it can provide for transportation of stretchers and seated wounded casualties accompanied by one medical attendant. During cargo transportation, Mi-35M can transport up to 1,500 kilograms inside the cargo compartment or 2,400 kilograms on an external sling, and has a range of 460 kilometers, and can reach a maximum distance of 1,000 kilometers with full fuel load. The Mi-35M has received a new rotor system with composite material blades. The advanced blade profile improves the helicopter performance with composite materials provide for longer life and higher combat survivability. The X-shaped tail rotor provides higher controllability together with a lower noise level. Mi-35M has a shortened wing equipped with a built-in cargo hoist and new storage racks. The Mi-35M will perform the task even if one of its engines fails, and at the same time, it does not need a specially engineered landing site. People make legends about the indestructibility of the Russian flying tank on the African continent. Many compare its reliability and easy maintenance with the famous Kalashnikov machine gun. For decades, the fearful crocodiles have been participating in all kinds of conflicts on the African continent. This kind of helicopters is a vital part of the aerospace force without which it is difficult to imagine modern warfare. These kind of machines are capable of turning the outcome of a military operation anywhere in the world, whether in desert, tropics, or permafrost. Attack helicopters are always close to ground forces, instantly respond to requests from the ground, and terrify enemy units. Recently, the Philippines also want to purchase a diesel-electric propulsion submarine in Russia. One of their choices is the Project 877 class submarines, known as the Kilo class to NATO in the West. It is nicknamed the Black Hole submarine by the U.S. Navy for one terrifying reason and its ability to disappear suddenly. It has a displacement of 2,300 tons surfaced and 3,950 tons submerged. The maximum diving depth is 300 meters. Speed is 10 knots when surfaced and 17 knots when submerged. The range is 6,000 miles when sailing at 7 knots and 400 miles when submerged at 3 knots. The Kilo class has 6 torpedo tubes and carries 18 heavyweight torpedoes with an automatic rapid loader. It can engage two targets simultaneously. Also, it can engage air targets if needed because it has a launcher for 8 surface-to-air missiles. Currently, 5 countries are operating Kilo class submarine in Asia: Vietnam, Myanmar, People's Republic of China, India, and Malaysia. The trend to submarines reflects the desire of Asian countries to protect their recently acquired wealth and enduring economic interests. Much of Asia is dependent on open sea lanes to keep export-driven economies humming, and a recognition of the importance of sea power is driving a general naval expansion throughout the region. The submarine is always the backbone of every Navy fleet because they provide intelligence and underwater protection for surface ships and can detect and lay mines more efficiently than any other Navy vessel. Submarines also provide a means to land special forces in hostile regions and if fitted with suitable weapons, it can strike land targets. Russian military assets have acquired a well-deserved reputation for being effective weapons of war. It was the experience gained during the decade-long operations that helped Russian designers to make them more survivable in combat effectiveness. As the Philippines and Russian partnership continue to flourish and prosper, we can see more military defense cooperation and also in the technology sector, agriculture, economics, science, culture, and education that could bring the two nations closer and its people